Now that we have everything unpacked, let's put it together.
The entire build process took me about 30 minutes, and I am not a bike mechanic. First, you want to put the bike on a solid surface so it doesn't tip over. I was actually able to get it to balance for most of the assembly of this. I did place some extra padding underneath the front forks and the brake assembly as to not put any pressure on that sensitive brake component. You want to start off with taking the 4 screws out of the post, unravel the handlebars. They seem to get twisted with all the cabling. Place the handlebars into the slot. Proceed to screw in the 4 Allen bolts with the provided tools. I did find that it was easier to use a screwdriver type adapter in order to get them started and go in quicker. For now, I would just put them finger tight until you're able to get the bike completely assembled, and at a later time you can adjust the handlebar height and positioning. I did notice on my first ride when I applied too much pressure to the handlebars, they did rotate down. So make sure that you have those tightened. Next, we're going to install the headlight. It is wrapped up pretty well, so go ahead and take all of the foam off of that. I did find it was a little difficult figuring out where the wires would go, so I placed the wires on the back side of the light bulb. In the video that Ariel Rider put out, you can't tell where the wires are in relation to the headlight assembly. Insert both screws, the left and the right, and tighten those down. There is a bolt underneath in order to make minor adjustments after you have the bike completely set up and you want to aim your light in the correct direction. Before we put on the front wheel, we're going to want to remove the bolt that was placed there. It was only finger tight, so it didn't take much to undo it. But if you do need to remove that, and you're going to need this tool later, you're going to need a 15mm wrench. Once the bolt is removed, you would also want to remove the protective insert for the brake calipers. Lift up the bike and carefully place the wheel into position, being careful to make sure the disc brakes are properly aligned. Don't put too much pressure on the bike until everything is lined up. Tighten the bolts on both sides. I did notice that the brake pads were rubbing on one side and they needed a minor adjustment. The provided hex wrench will allow you to make any minor adjustments. I would suggest going on to the Tektro website to find out the proper adjustments for the disc brakes. Once everything is installed, I pick up the front of the bike and spin the wheel. If it spins straight and freely, then I know it's done right. Next, we will want to put the fender on. As you see from the video here, I did place it on backwards and didn't realize that until the following day. So then I was able to swap that around. There's only 2 bolts, one on the front and one on the rear, that attaches this fender. I did find a little trick. If you turn the wheel, it makes it easier to get to the rear bolt that is tucked up against the frame. When installing the pedals, make sure the right pedal is on the right side of the bike. Take notice at the sticker that is attached to it, as it has a special direction that it needs to turn, and it is the opposite on the left side of the bike. Definitely use a 15mm box wrench in order to tighten these pedals down. As you noticed, I tried to use the multi-wrench that was provided with the bike, but I found it did not fit anything that I needed it for. It's pretty much worthless. I'm not sure why the company gave that to us, but definitely use some high quality tools as to not strip out anything that you're trying to tighten. In my unboxing video, there were 2 rubber caps that were a mystery to me. I eventually found out where they went thanks to the Ariel Rider's Facebook group. I'm sure I missed something, and if you are feeling uncomfortable with putting your bike together, definitely take it to an approved bike mechanic. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe, like, notify, all of those fancy things you need to do on YouTube. And stay tuned for my review video and my first ride video coming out shortly.